The animal kingdom is full of superpowers. It's true, just take a look around. Birds have flights, rhinos have incredible strength, cheetahs have super speed, and sloths, well, sloths are super slow, like painfully slow. You probably already know this about them, but do you know how sloths benefit from their superpower of slow? And do you want to know the one thing they do really fast? Here's a hint, it's something most people do with their doors closed. Hello, Jay here, and welcome to EdPOP. It's time to get ready to learn all of the dirty details you ever wanted to know about sloths and their superpowers, right here on this episode of Bad Science. If you enjoy the video, remember to subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a like. Every week, I will examine a friend of the animal kingdom in the only way I know how, badly. Your support means I get to keep bringing you the filthy facts you crave, and who doesn't want that? So, without further ado, let's hang with our nasty little tree friends, the sloths. First of all, let's talk about the name sloth. What does it mean? In English, sloth is another term for laziness, and these animals have definitely earned their name. Under the best circumstances, a sloth will only move as much as 40 yards per day. On top of that, they sleep their days away for between 15 and 18 hours. Sloths move so little that algae actually grows on their coats. You're probably a lazy viewer, but even you can't match the sloth's supreme laziness. And if you have algae growing on you, maybe take a shower, you nasty. Joking aside, sloths do look and sound worthless at a glance, but don't count them out yet. There's actually a good reason for the sloth's loafing habits, but I'll get to that later in the video. Typically found in the rainforests of Central and South America, sloths are xenarthran mammals. That means that despite the great differences in their bodies and abilities, sloths are actually related to both armadillos and anteaters. You know, the roly-polies and those furry perverts that always have their tongues in some kind of hole. With relatives like that, can you really blame sloths for spending all their time high up in trees? At the moment, only arboreal tree sloths exist in nature, but this wasn't always the case. Long ago, there were also terrestrial ground sloths called megalonyx that could grow up to 10 feet long and weigh more than 2,000 pounds, and others called megatherium that could get as big as an elephant. Scientists have even found evidence of a type of ground sloth that could partially live in water, a semi-aquatic sloth they called Thalassochnus. These losers became extinct thousands of years ago though, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about them. All you have to know is that they moved so slowly, they died. Now for the sloths we still have today, the tree sloths. These little bastards are broken up in two categories: Bradypus, the three-toed sloth, and Colipus, the two-toed sloth. This designation only refers to their front feet or hands, as all currently living sloths have 3 toes on each rear foot. Why are sloths categorized by their toes? Because scientists like feet. Don't make it weird. So, how are these two classes of sloth different besides their toes? Well, 3-toed sloths are typically the size of a big house cat, weigh about 8 pounds, and have arms that are considerably longer than their legs. They also have characteristic black fur around their eyes that make them look like little bandits. The final identifying trait of a 3-toed sloth is the short tail they have. It's no more than 3 inches long, and they use it as an extra point of contact when climbing, and to dig holes for their poop. That's right, 3-toed sloths wiggle their butt and tails into the ground every time they descend from the tree tops to make a little poop receptacle. They even do their best to cover it up when they're done, the thoughtful little shits. On the other hand, 2-toed sloths tend to be larger than their triple-digited cousins, and heavier too at around 18 pounds. 2-toed sloths are nocturnal, so they are most active at night, and they lack the hole-digging tail of the 3-toed sloth. They just leave their crap wherever it drops, and then go about their days. The pigs? Hey, wait! Now's the time! Subscribe to the channel to be entertained while learning. It's free! Now for their similarities. All sloths live high up in the tree canopy, where they are safe from predators. Since they move so slowly, they're a quick bite for the many carnivores that tend to prowl at ground level, so they stay far off the ground as much as possible. In fact, they only descend from their trees to poop, and they only do that once a week. Their metabolism and digestive systems move just as slowly as they do, So it can take as long as an entire month for their bodies to process all of the leaves, fruits, and insects they eat. Because they go so infrequently, all sloths take big dumps. They can evacuate as much as 20% of their body weight through their butts every time they go. Now, that's some fast weight loss. Sloths also take care of their business in the same spot for a number of reasons, including to fertilize the trees they live in. Due to their musculature and extreme slowness, sloths are basically useless on level ground. They just drag their bodies like dead weight through the dirt. While they can't walk, sloths do actually make pretty great swimmers. Their long, strong arms move them through the water smoothly, and they have extra-large lungs that allow them to hold their breath for almost 40 minutes. As far as superpowers go, Mother Nature did a great job when she handed that one over to sloths. They can either swim underwater for a long time to reach safer areas, or just hide underwater without coming up for air for extended periods when predators are around. Even when they're up in the trees, their immense lung capacity allows them to be almost entirely motionless, like gargoyles of the rainforest. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, the one thing sloths do that doesn't take hours and hours, it's sex. Sloths aren't exactly stallions in the bedroom, and scientists have deduced that the actual act of copulation between sloths can take less than a minute. How embarrassing! However, that doesn't mean they don't have fun for those 60 seconds. While it is rare to see sloths doing the dance with no pants, they have been caught doing it in all kinds of crazy positions. Face to face, back to front, upside down, hanging from tree branches, and more. Sloths are here for a good time, not a long time, and they like to get freaky. Depending on the type of sloth, it can be difficult to tell a male from a female, as sloths don't have any external genitalia. All of their fun bits are on the inside, and there are only tiny hints on the outside. Sound familiar? Male three-toed sloths develop orange and black stripes down their backs, while females of the same species will have a subtle black stripe or none at all. As for two-toed sloths, you can't really tell one from the other without some kind of invasive exam. In fact, zoos have paired up two-toed sloths thinking they were the same sex, only to have a baby sloth turn up a while later. Whoops! Female sloths also don't show signs of being pregnant, so there's no real way to tell when the deed has been done. When they're ready to give birth, they hang from a tree, the baby comes out, and it clings to the mother so it doesn't fall dozens of feet down to the forest floor and it's doom. Because they are born in such dangerous circumstances, baby sloths don't have the luxury of being weak and defenseless. They're born with all their fur, eyes completely open, and they're all ready to crawl around within a few days of being born. We've dunked on sloths a lot in this video. Yes, they're lazy, slow, and take dumps like trucks, but they're also fascinating creatures that are important to the ecosystem. When they eat leaves off the top of trees, they let light in so plants and animals on the ground can grow. When they poop, they keep the trees of the rainforest fertilized and strong. And the algae that grows on their backs? Scientists have found that it could potentially cure a number of diseases, including specific types of breast cancer. Also, I'm not sure if you noticed, but every single sloth's face is painted with a permanent smile. They don't stress about things, and they're always taking it easy, so they're always happy. Now, I'm not saying to sleep for 18 hours a day, or to eat bugs and leaves, or even poop at the base of the nearest tree. But we could probably learn a little bit about life from these slow bros. Don't worry, be happy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.